Hi everybody, Don the Mushroom Hunter here, and I finally found my first morel here in Portage County, Ohio. The season is getting a late start here, probably because it's been so cold, but we've had a lot of rain, we've had a couple warmer days, so things should be picking up. This is the same spot that I tend to find my first black morels every year. Black morels, or Morchella angusticeps, is our first morel species, usually that shows up in spring. It can tolerate a little bit more cold than some of the other varieties. Not that it's impossible to find it later or to find other species before you find blacks, but that's just kind of how it seems to go. So let's take a look. And this is why morels, particularly black morels, are so elusive and hard to find. See it yet? How about now? Oh, there it is, hiding in the grass. Nice. All right, so here it is, a slightly truncated black morel. You can see the cap has been, taken off of this, maybe bitten off by an animal. We're missing the kind of point, but you can see here that it's hollow all the way through, and that is a fairly key identification characteristic for morels. However, I will say that I have seen morels that sometimes will have folds of flesh at the bottom of the stipe or stem, where it won't be hollow all the way through, but for the most part they're fairly hollow. I would say that a more key characteristic for identification of morels is that the cap has deep pits or grooves. The most commonly mistaken mushroom for morels are probably Verpa bohemica, which are related to morels and sort of have a similar shape as far as the cap and stem. The cap is very folded. It kind of has folds of flesh instead of these deep pits or grooves. So it's, again, if there's anything out there that is likely to be confused with a morel, it's probably that. The good thing is that we now know that Verpa bohemica are just as edible as morels, meaning they are slightly toxic when raw, but are perfectly edible once thoroughly cooked. So again, I'm really excited for morel season to start. I'm going to keep looking around here. Again, this is the area I tend to find black morels first almost every year. Maybe I can find one that actually has the rest of the cap. That would be great. Otherwise, it's going to be a tasty morsel, but it's not going to go very far in my kitchen tonight. Anyway, morel season is upon us. Get out there. Look for the trees that morels associate with. This happens to be a giant oak tree, I believe, behind me, which is not usually the habitat where we find morels. But there are several other trees mixed in here, some apple, some elm, looks like a couple of others, maybe a tulip poplar over there. So again, for morels, the habitat, well-drained sandy soil is best. This is right at the top of a hill here, a hillside. They don't like to be sitting in dampness or in soaking water for sure, so look for areas that are sort of, I guess, more of a hill than, let's say, a flat area, although they can kind of grow anywhere. And the trees I typically find morels around: cherry and apple, hickory, sycamore, tulip poplar, dead and dying elms and ash and spruce. There are a couple of other trees that they can associate with, although every once in a while they just do their own thing. But if you're primarily looking in, let's say, an oak and maple in beech forest, your chances of finding morels are fairly slim, not impossible, but it's already, your chances of finding morels are very slim, even if you're looking around the right trees. So if you're looking around trees that they aren't known to associate with, you're going to spend a lot of times looking, not a lot of time finding. Anyway, here we are. Happy hunting.